Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to today's math lesson. My name is Mrs. Arnold, and I'm so glad that you've joined me today for our math lesson. Today's lesson is for Grade 4, Module 1, Topic C, Lesson 7. Now, let's look at what we're going to be working on today. Today, in our lesson, we're going to be working on being able to round multi-digit numbers to the thousands place using a vertical number line. So let's think about, you probably have worked on rounding before at some point. Talking about maybe rounding up and rounding down. And maybe you've worked with multi-digit numbers, which means that it's more than one digit in that number. And looking at the thousands place, so also thinking about, you've probably used a place value chart before, and thinking about our thousands place, and using a vertical number line. So we're going to talk about how in the past you might have used what's called a horizontal line, which is going across this way. But today we're going to look at using a vertical horizontal line, which means it's going up and down. Okay? So if you kind of think about maybe if you've seen a thermometer before and how the thermometer has the 0 and then you have the numbers going up. Okay, so maybe as the temperature is getting hotter and hotter, you're going up on your number line, and then as the temperature is getting colder, now it goes down. Okay, that's a vertical number line. So we're going to be using one of those today. So I would love for you to pause the video for just a second and go grab a sheet of paper and pencil and work some problems with me. Okay, so thinking about a vertical number line, and what does that look like? So thinking about maybe possibly if you've ever seen like one of the thermometers where the line is going up and down like this. And if you've seen a thermometer before, it would have the temperature, it would have the degrees, like 20 degrees, 40 degrees, 50 degrees. Okay, so let's think about using a number line though to round a 4-digit number to the nearest thousand, okay? So here's our vertical number line. We're going to have like 2 endpoints here on our number line. Okay, now we're going to round 4,100 to the nearest thousand. So let's write that number over here to the side for just a minute in standard form. 4,100 is a number we're going to be using and rounding it to the nearest thousands. So if we're looking at this particular number, how many thousands are in this number? That's correct. There are 4 thousands. So we're going to make the lower endpoint 4,000 down here. This is going to be our 4,000 mark. We can write it as 4,000 in standard form, which also is equal to 4 thousands. Okay? What if we were going to add one more thousand? What would that be? This is 4 thousands. What would be one more thousand? That's correct, 5,000. So that we're going to make that our upper endpoint up here, 5,000. Now, if that's down here, 4,000 is our bottom number on this particular vertical number line that we're using. And 5,000 is going to be our highest. What's halfway between 4,000 and 5,000? Halfway. That's correct, because think about 1,000. A half of that, cutting it in half, would be 500, okay? And we had 4,000, so halfway between would be 4,500. Okay, that's correct. So that's the same as 4 thousands. And this one needs an S too for 5,000s. 4,500. Okay, so where should I label 4,100? Tell me where I should stop. If I start here at 4,000, tell me when I should stop at 4,100. Ready, set, go. Oh, you're right. I'm going to stop right there. 4,100. 4,100. So now that I've labeled that on my chart, is 4,100 nearer or closer to 4,000s, or is it closer up here to 5,000s? You're right. Okay, 4,100 is closer or nearer to 4,000s. Okay, that is true. So we say 4,100 rounded to the nearest thousand is 4,000. Okay, what if, let me give you another number. Okay, 4,700 would be right here on our vertical number line. Okay, what about 4,700? What is that near? What is that closest to? That's correct. It would round to 5,000 because 4,700 is nearer to 5,000 up here than it is down here to 4,000. So therefore we would say 4,700 rounded to the nearest thousand is 5,000. Okay. Now, let's try another problem. All right. We're going to draw another vertical number line. Just draw it the best you can. Okay, we're going to use our number line to round a 5 and 6 digit numbers to the nearest thousand. All right, so let's round 14,500 to the nearest thousand. So, how many thousands are in 14,500? That's correct. There's 14,000. Okay, so we're going to start off down here at the very bottom and put 14,000 and that would be 14,000s at the bottom of our number line. what would be 1,000 more? So if I had 4 thousands to begin with, 1,000 more would be 5,000. So we would write this because it's actually 15,000. So we would write this as 15,000. Okay. Now, what is halfway between 14,000 and 15,000? You see here 15,000. Right, just like we said a few minutes ago, we take a whole, say we have 1,000, halfway in the middle of that would be 500. So we would have 14,500. So 14,500 would be our halfway mark. Now, as we're thinking about our numbers, okay, hey, wait a second. That's the number that we were trying to round to the nearest 1,000, right? And that's halfway between 14,000 and 15,000. Right in the middle, it's halfway point. It's not really closer to either number. So the rule is that we round up. 14,500 rounded to the nearest 1,000 is 15,000. Okay? What about, let's do another number. What about 14,990? Where would that go on our number line? You're right up here, really close, isn't it, to 15,000? 14,990. How would we round that to the nearest 1,000? Right, 14,990 is closer or nearer to the 15,000s. Or 15,000, that's right. So this one would round up to 15,000, okay? Now, where would 14,345 go on your number line? 14,345. It's going to kind of go right in this area, because if you think about halfway between 0 and 500 would be 250, so halfway would be our 14,250, and our number is greater than 250, so it's got to be a little bit more than that, okay? So 14,000, which is the same as 14,300. Okay, so if we look at this one, 14,345 though, rounding to the nearest thousands, is going to be nearer to 14,000. So that means it's going to be rounded to the nearest 1,000 of 14,000. So this number here is closer to 14,000 than it is to 15,000 when we're rounding to the nearest thousands. Okay, because 14,345, is it more than or less than the halfway point between our two thousands here? Right, it's less than, because 14,500 is our midpoint, our halfway between the two thousands, and it's less than that, okay? So that means that it would round to 14,000. Okay. All right. Let's look at one more number together. All right. So let's draw another number line. Once again, a vertical number line. And let's use the number 215,711. And let's round it to the nearest thousand. Now, I want you to think about, if this is our number, what numbers would I put at the bottom of this vertical number line? This is kind of my end point down here. And what would I put at the top? If we're looking at the thousands. Okay, so we have a 5 right here in our thousands place. Think about your place value chart. We have 5 thousands. So I'm going to start off with 215,000. And what would be 1,000 more than this one? That's right, a 6. So it would be 216,711. Okay, so that's our endpoints. Think about, where would this number be on our number line? Would it be closer down here or closer up here towards the top of our number line? What would be halfway between these two numbers? Oh, sorry. Let me change this to zeros. There we go. There's our thousands. What would be halfway between? Right, so we would need to put our halfway mark would be 215,500. And where would our original number here, where would that go on our number line? Correct, just a little bit above the halfway mark. Okay, so it's 215,711. So is that closer to being nearer to 215,000, or would we round up to the nearest thousand, rounding up to 216,000? You're right, so here's the halfway mark. We're closer. See, we're kind of in this area here on our number line, so we're going to round up to 216,000. That's how we would round that number. Okay? All right. Thank you, boys and girls, for joining me today on this math lesson. I am so glad that you were able to be here, and I just want to take just a minute just to think about, what were we working on? And we were working on rounding, which we did. We were rounding multi-digit numbers. As you can see, these numbers here have multi-digits, more than one digit. We were rounding to the thousands place. And we were using our vertical number line. So thank you for joining me. I hope that you can join again. And you can also work on some more practice problems that you can print. Thank you.